The auction listing had been brutally honest. Settlement 47 Theta, abandoned, infrastructure intact. Atmosphere breathable, 100 credits or best offer, no warranties, buyer beware. Kevin had clicked purchase before his coffee had cooled. Now, standing in the dust-choked main street of what the locals had once called Redemption Point, he wondered if he'd made the biggest mistake of his life. The settlement sprawled across a rust-colored plateau on Kepler 442b's southern continent, a collection of prefab structures slowly surrendering to the elements. Solar panels hung at defeated angles. Windows gaped like empty eye sockets. The corporation that had built this place had declared bankruptcy 17 months ago, abandoning their workers to find their own way home. Most had left. The galactic news feeds had covered the exodus. 2,000 Xanthari miners and their families, rescued by a coalition of charity vessels and transported to processing centers across 3 systems. Apparently the news had missed someone. She sat on the steps of what had once been the settlement's general store, her forearms wrapped around a child who couldn't have been more than 3 standard years old. Her exoskeleton had the deep purple hue of mature Xanthari females, though stress fractures ran along her carapace like rivers on a map. Her compound eyes tracked Kevin's approach with the wariness of prey that had forgotten the taste of safety. "You're the new owner," she said. Not a question. Her translator crackled with age. The voice it produced flat and mechanical. "I am." Kevin stopped 10 meters away, keeping his hands visible. First contact protocols, even if this was technically 3rd or 4th contact by now. Name's Kavan Chen. I bought the settlement from the bankruptcy liquidators. Anna. She didn't offer a clan name. Her lower arms tightened around the child. "This is my daughter, Siska." The little one peeked out from behind her mother's thorax, eyes glittering with curiosity despite the fear. Kevin felt something twist in his chest. The news said everyone got evacuated. They did. Anna's mandibles clicked, a Xanthari shrug. Everyone who made it to the pickup zones on time. I was in the medical center. Siska was sick. By the time the fever broke, the last ship had gone. She paused. That was 9 months ago. 9 months. Alone in a ghost town with a sick child. Kevin's mind raced through the implications. How have you survived? The hydroponics bay still works. Solar grid too, mostly. I know how to fix things. Pride crept into her mechanical voice. I was a systems engineer before they reassigned me to drone operation. More profitable, they said. Then they left us all behind when the profit disappeared. Kevin walked closer, slowly, and sat on the step below her. The sun was setting, painting the abandoned street in shades of amber and gold. Why didn't you call for help? Send a distress signal? Anna was quiet for a long moment. I did for 3 months. No one answered. No one came. After a while I realized the truth. We're too expensive to rescue. 1 Xanthari and her child. The fuel costs alone would exceed our economic value. Her translator couldn't capture bitterness, but Kevin heard it anyway in the pauses between words. I am not naive. I understand how the galaxy calculates worth. Well, Kevin said, pulling out his datapad. That's a fucked up way to calculate anything. He pulled up his banking interface and transferred 50,000 credits to the Xanthari Relief Fund, designating it for Anna and Siska specifically. Then he sent messages to 3 different refugee resettlement organizations, carbon copying the Galactic Press Corps. What are you doing? Anna leaned forward, her upper arms extending in alarm. Making noise. Humans are good at that. He looked up at her. By morning, you'll have transport offers. Probably a media circus, too. Hope you don't mind interviews. I don't understand. You paid for this settlement. We're squatters on your property. Kevin laughed, the sound harsh and sharp in the empty street. You know what my species is famous for across the galaxy? Being absolutely, irrationally stubborn about what we think is right. They call it humanity's greatest flaw. We call it our greatest strength. He stood, offering his hand. A human gesture she wouldn't understand, so he modified it to a Xanthari greeting, extending his right arm parallel to the ground. I didn't buy this place to evict the only person brave enough to survive here. I bought it to build something new. Anna stared at him. Build what? I'm not sure yet. Maybe a proper settlement. Maybe a refuge for the next time corporations abandon people. Maybe just a home, he smiled. But I'll need a systems engineer. Someone who knows how to fix things, how to make things work when everyone else has given up. Siska chirped something in Zenthari, and Anna responded softly, her voice unfiltered by the translator. Then she looked back at Kivan. The hydroponics bay can support 3 people, maybe 4 if we expand the growth beds. Good to know. Kivan glanced at the darkening sky where stars were beginning to emerge. I brought supplies. Real coffee, human vegetables, protein packs, and toys. I have a niece back on Earth. I know kids need toys. For the first time, Anna's mandibles spread and what he'd learned was a Zenthari smile. Siska would like that. She hasn't had a new toy in 9 months. They sat together as night fell over Redemption Point. No longer a ghost town, but not yet whatever it would become. In the growing darkness, Kevin explained his plans. Solar panel repairs, communication array upgrades, atmospheric processing improvements. Anna listened and corrected his assumptions with the patience of someone who knew these systems intimately. And when little Siska finally fell asleep in her mother's arms, Kevin made a promise to himself. No one would be abandoned here again, not on his watch. Not while humans remembered that some calculations mattered more than credits. That was humanity's real strength, the stubborn, irrational belief that one person could make a difference. Even in a ghost town at the edge of nowhere. Especially there,